let's go through the Bucks. We're going to go through real quickly because we're running long on time. The Bucks over under is 51.5. There's an under plus 115 at PointsBet. If you want to go with a higher number, there's a 52.5 at Superbook, which is one of the sharper books. Circa and Superbook, because they take the highest limits, those are the two books that I consider to be sharpest. They're at 52.5. Let's just start here, Brandon. What's your projection for the Milwaukee Bucks versus a 51.5 or 52.5?
Yeah, so I have the Bucks as the number 6 offense, number 3 defense, 52 to 58 wins.
Whew.
Basically, here's where Milwaukee is. Brook Lopez is back. That's the key thing. So that should significantly raise the defense. They finished 14th last year. If Brook Lopez plays and all the veterans play and they actually try, I think we would agree. End of discussion. This is a potential juggernaut team, easy over. The question is just whether, do they try? Do they play enough and push forward enough to get to the over? 52.5, I would have a lean over, but we talk a lot about on the bad teams. Do they try at the end? Do they tank? What's the question? This is that for me as a good team. I'm probably just going to stay away because I'm going to have my money tied up in Bucks futures and other ways past the regular season. And I don't really know if this team cares that much about winning 50 or 53.
My argument against the trying thing is that I basically think they took last year off.
Yeah,
I think
I
last
agree.
year was the one that they basically, and they got really hurt. They were genuinely hurt in November. Like Giannis was without Middleton, Drew, and Lopez, and still somehow they managed to get to the 3 seed. Like, it's incredible what they did, like how good they are. I looked this up. Drew Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis, when they played together last season, 37-10. They won 79% of their games when the big 3 played. With Lopez, that goes to 8-1. They killed everyone. Like, healthy, the Bucks kill everyone.
Yeah,
is a general sentiment. Bud teams in the last, with Milwaukee, average an 81 winning percentage versus sub 500 teams. That's based off, influenced heavily by a 91% they hit in 2020. In general, they're between 75 and 80 and 90, right? Teams that win 70% of their games versus sub 500 teams, they go over 71% of the time. So that's a lot of numbers. Let me put this out of it. 7 out of 10 times, if you're a good team versus bad teams, you go over. The Bucks are an exceptionally good team versus the bad teams.
The Bud special, just like Pop. That's what they do. They beat up on the bad teams and you beat the regular season.
Now, despite all this, they've gone under in 2 of their 4, but 2020 would have been an over if they actually carried it out. So 3 of 4, really. There's no real turnover from this team. It's not like last year where they lost PJ Tucker. They get basically everybody back. They add Ingles and MarJon Beauchamp. Those are 2 guys that Ingles will be back probably mid-season. Those are 2 guys that could help. I don't know that they've done a great job of filling out. I don't know what there's nobody that I'm like, oh, watch out for this guy besides maybe Beauchamp. No. Everybody else, it's just, you know what you're getting.
No.
Teams that went under the previous season with a win total over 50 the following year are 13-7 to the under. So if you failed to perform last year and then you have a win mark of 50, you tend to go over. 50 is actually surprisingly indicative. Like, that's a meaningful number for the win totals. That's a big mark. And you're going to be hearing a lot about that when we get to other teams. They're old. They're just old.
They're old. Yeah. Let me give you ages. Drew Holiday, 32. Chris Middleton, 31. Brook Lopez, big dude, 34. Joe Ingles coming off ACL tear, 35. George Hill, 37. Wes Matthews, 36. Serge Ibaka, 32, question mark. Like, the age thing is a real concern for me. Plus the Giannis back injury maybe thing happening at Eurobasket. For me, that's another reason that, like, look, like you said, bettors don't have to play everything. I don't have to play this. Yeah. I don't have to take an over. I like him. I like the roster. I like Giannis. He's very good. There are enough things that can go bad for me that the age is a big deal to me.
I was so hopeful after the Mitchell trade, but the first bet I looked for was Bucks division.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, oh yeah, like everybody's gonna get suckered in and start taking the division, and I can get the Buck. Nope. Books are like, go fuck yourself, Matt. Minus 300. You're gonna have to pay 3-1 on it, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay 3-1.
Minus 260 now at FanDuel. Minus 260 implied 72%. What do you think about that number?
I like the number. It's like, I don't want to bet it because the nature of the NBA season is such that I don't want to take anything that's a 75% probability with Giannis misses a month and that's it.